Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from China.
Okay. And how old were you when you first came to America?
How old am I?
Yeah.
Oh, when I first came, I was, let's see, 26.
Okay. Whose decision was it to move here?
It was both my wife and my decision.
And what was your main reason for coming to America?
For paperwork, because I'm married to Mrs. Yang, so in order to marry to a foreign citizen, we both have to come to America to finish some paperwork.
How was America described to you in your country?
I think America was described in my country as a very materialistic, developed, and also as a Christian nation.
Did America meet your expectations?
In some ways, yes, because I do see a lot of Christians in different parts of the states, and also America American culture is heavily influenced by Christian culture, and also American culture is very materialistic, and it is getting more. And I say this because when I look at Christmas time, most likely it's about presents and money, those kind of things. So it's still very materialistic. And America still plays a major role in the world. It influences many decisions that people make. So it's about similar.
Okay. What was your first impression when you came to America?
It seemed like everything was so big. Like when I first landed in San Francisco airport, my wife and I, we went to the Burger King in there because I had Burger King in China and I really loved it. And it was spicy. The food there was very spicy in China, the one I ordered. But when I went to Burger King, and the drink size was so huge. I mean, the smallest size is much bigger than the larger size in China, and you can get free refills. So I thought that was interesting. Everything was so big, and they want to make sure you have a lot to eat. And the streets are very clean, and blue sky, and people seem to be very efficient. They were always on the go. Everybody was working or walking very quickly, and people still show courtesy to each other even though they didn't know each other. So coming from China, people normally don't say hello to each other unless they know each other. But in America, I often see that people would say hello to each other, smile. So that was my first impression. And I also went to so what I'm describing is my first week in America. So I had a good time just visiting different supermarket and drugstores. And when I first came, I was fascinated by how many choices for any product, anything that was to choose from. For example, if I go to the eye drop section, I could find probably maybe 10 or more name brands. And each name brand has so many different categories. It's like a whole shelf of things to choose from. So for me, that was fascinating because more choices. I could get almost anything if I wanted to buy it. So for that part, was the first part of culture shock was fascinating by the different things that I saw.
Okay. How has your impression of America changed?
Let's see, it changed over time. When I first came here, and actually, I would say before I came here, I imagined America to be a magical kingdom. That's how the world portrayed America, because America is a freedom of speech, and America influenced the world so much, and also American movies and American culture is has heavily impacted the rest of the world. So when I first came here, I had this similar expectation, but I have been learning English for quite a while, so I knew a lot about American culture and people. But over time, living in the States shaped me to what I believe. So for example, I used to believe that America was a Christian nation. And after I moved to here, it's not a Christian nation anymore because there are few Christians. But still, the Christians who that in this nation are still pretty strong. And another thing that I saw that well, I forgot what I was going to say, but it will come back to me later. Yeah.
Did or do you feel prejudice?
No, not really. No.
What was your first job here?
My first job here was was a teaching position to Mandarin Chinese to a homeschool family.
What are you doing now?
What I'm doing now, I'm getting my master's degree teaching English as a second language from Biola University, and also I'm teaching at Shasta College and some other jobs.
If you could choose to immigrate anywhere in the world, where would you go? Would you still choose America?
You mean if I could choose a different country? I probably would still choose America. Not because, well, people speak English, so that's one less stressful thing if I had to immigrate to a different country. Yeah, language is probably one of the things that I don't have to worry about if I came to the States. Yeah.
If America and your country had a war, whose side would you support?
Well, let's see. I will probably choose. I'll probably initially choose my country, which will be China. But I will also to look into the reasons they fight, the reason they had a war, because from different countries, different people have different opinions. Different people have different perspectives. And for example, let's say, I'm trying to come up with an example so I can show it to you. Okay, let's say America and China had a war, had a different opinion about the place, Tibet, right? Tibet is a hot topic in China and also all over the world. Do you know Tibet? Okay, Tibet is on the west coast of China. It covered a large area. Most people there are minorities or Muslims. They live in those areas. But some people there were not very happy with how they were treated. So America, according to many people in America who they believe that people should have a good life, people should be treated equally, and people should be respected. So in America's perspective, America would encourage people to do that. So they want to help the people in Tibet to be separate from China. But according to a Chinese perspective, Chinese people like to be involved in the things they're doing. They don't help other people to make decisions. They make their own decision. So they make sure their own decision only affect their own people, not affect other parts of the world. So for example, there's a saying that, for example, when two families get into a fight, you don't go into another family to interfere. You only interfere your own family. But this is not a philosophy or belief that some other parts of the world, they agree. So when two parties have different opinions, they tend to get into a conflict. So it depends on what your belief is, what your opinion is, then you will choose a standpoint. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
What language do you speak at home?
English.
What language do your children speak?
We don't have any children yet, but probably we want to train them to be bilingual.
Will you ever forget your native language?
I don't think so. Yeah, that's part of my heritage, part of me, so I don't think so. Yeah.
Do you memorialize your home country and your traditions, like your holidays?
I'm sorry, could you ask me one more time?
Okay.
Yeah, I just didn't hear the verb, what you said earlier.
Do you memorialize your home country in your traditions, like holidays and events and stuff?
Do I moralize?
Yeah.
Could you give me an example?
Do you like